Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm just doing a deck profile on my Chazz Princeton Character Deck because I'm finally getting around to both profiling these character decks and to editing this deck. And I wanted to do a quick profile on it the way it is just before I change it up a little bit. I'm actually filming this one before any of the others because I want to change the deck. Haven't got around to all the others, even though I've wanted to profile these for years and definitely a lot over the last couple of weeks. But just to give you a bit of blurb if you haven't watched any of the videos so far, essentially what we do with our character decks, me and my friends, is we try and go for anime accuracy. So anime effects kind of take precedent. We try to stick to people using only one copy of cards unless it only works in multiple copies, is funny, or if you need to make the monster count up and it's like, it's really not a big deal. And I'll probably explain a couple of examples of that in the future. You could also use multiple copies if they used multiple copies, but like within reason. We also allow every deck to have a copy of Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, and Card of Sanctity with the anime effect, of course, just to give some draw. It's never really been a problem. We're not a competitive bunch. We kind of just accept that everybody has the access to it, so it's kind of fair. Although I'll be completely honest, I've been kind of cheesing Card of Sanctity a lot recently, just setting everything on my turn on the off chance my opponent has Card of Sanctity, etc. So I'm starting to take advantage of it, I won't lie, but yeah. But other than that, we try to stick religiously to what characters used in the anime. However, we are looking at introducing some staples that everybody can use in addition to that, mostly just so we can kind of utilize a couple of the characters who were just like one or two cards off. But anyway, first of all, we're going to get into the fusion deck. So first of all, we have XYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon. This is a card that I think I have summoned once, and there was another time where I was having like a multi-way tag game that I really wasn't enjoying, and I was literally one card away from playing this because the duel had been stalled out so much. I literally had almost all the pieces on my field. I was one card away from making this, and then someone blew my field up, and I literally went home. Like, I was literally like, okay, it's the end of the day. This game's been painful enough. I'm leaving. But yeah, really cool card anyway. It's nice to, it's nice to have the option of going into it. We've got XYZ Dragon Cannon, of course, much easier to make, although I still haven't made it all that many times. I do have the quarter century of the alternative art of XYZ Dragon Cannon, but that is in the Kaiba deck I just put together. I also have XZ Tank Cannon, the only copy of the two pieces that I had from childhood. However, I have had these common speed duel copies of YZ, XY, and actually the alternate of XYZ Dragon Cannon, still unsleeved, literally just rattling around the deck box for at least a year now. But yeah, we'll get those sleeved up with the rest of this once we've updated the deck. So yeah, this is a pretty cool card. I've used it a couple of times, and it has hurt me in the past not having the others. But, it is what it is. We got VW Tiger Catapult. This is the fusion I see the most often with this deck. It's not bad, though. The effect can be quite useful sometimes. And finally, we have a copy of Fiend Skull Dragon, which I only just realized this was still in here while I was putting the deck together to be profiled. This is from an earlier build. The cards to make it the Cave Dragon and Lesser Fiend were taken out. I guess this guy never got took out. So that's good. That's a extra deck sleeve for someone. And now the main deck. So first of all, we have we have a couple of one tribute monsters, but the other big monsters are kind of in with their themes later on. So first of all, we have Hell Poema. This is in here because Chazz did use it. It was in his hand in the first duel against Jaden, I think. And I've always liked Hell Poema, so I wanted to use it. However, this is one of the cards that is now coming out because it has never been beneficial to the deck. It never gets destroyed by battle. And I have a Marek deck now, which I believe doesn't have Hell Poema in it at all. So, if I want to use it, it can be in Marek. Next, we have Mephist, the Infernal General. Again, I wanted this card to be fun. I wanted this card to, when I was a kid, I thought this card was so garbage, like the investment of a tribute for this thing. And I thought, you know what? Well, we'll give him a go. I want to like this card. I want it to be decent. And it just isn't. I've possibly got it out a few times. Probably got the discard off like once or twice. Most of the time, you can't even get it out, to be honest. It's a good discard because discarding was a big cost in the GX era. Next up, we have some just generic unthemed monsters. So we have 3 copies of Chthonian Soldier. Chazz did, of course, use 3 copies of Chthonian Soldier. I managed to get these in the Ultimate Rare back when this kind of stuff was cheap, when we first started character decks like 10 years ago. It's a really cool card. It's possibly my favorite card in the deck. I don't know. Yeah. That's never not going to be run at 3 in this deck. Next, we have the Armed Dragon package. So we have Armed Dragon level 3, level 5, level 7, and level 10. I was so happy when this got reprinted so I could finally put it in the deck. It did take me quite a few years to even get a copy of level 7, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, it's so cool to have the full package in the deck. I did actually get level 10 out the first time I played the deck after having got it. And there's some really cool plays you can do with level 10 and level 7. There was something weird as well. I can't remember what it was, but there was an interaction that meant that because level 10 tributes level 7, I couldn't bring it out. I can't remember what it was. Or maybe it was exactly the opposite. Maybe it was like I couldn't wait, like I wouldn't survive the game if I left level 7 out, but because this just tributes over it. Yeah, so on and so forth. Level 5 and level 3, always a nice little package. And back in the day when we used to play on probably Dueling Network, possibly Dueling Book, one of my most common opening hands was level 3 and Call of the Haunted. Chain your opponent's end phase, Call the Haunted level 3, and go up to 5 in the standby phase. Next, we have the XYZ package, of course, with the W-Wing Catapult and V Tiger Jet. Not really much to say about this. X-Head Cannon's the best beat stick in the deck. V Tiger Jet's the best wall in the deck. You know, it's pretty cool. It's nice. I would probably take them out, since again I've got the Yugioh Character Deck now, so he kind of has it covered. But to be honest, outside of what I have, like, I would like to play the Ojamas and stuff, but a lot of the stuff that Chazz used to make the Ojamas work in the animes doesn't actually exist. Like, how have they not printed Ojama Mandala? It's like the main card he used. But anyway, a couple of other things from like the arc where he had all the garbage cards. We put Outstanding Dog Marin in. I just think it's funny, like the way it just always shuffles itself back into your deck, and it's a good discard for the same reason. Again, discarding is a big cost in this era of the game, so it was pretty good. And secondly, the Unhappy Maiden. I've always liked her, and you know, good stall effect as well. Finally, we have this Archfiend package that I kind of worked on, and it all hinges on the fact that in the first duel against Jaden, Chazz had Pandemonium in his hand. So I took a bit of artistic license and tried to work out like what he might have used Pandemonium with. Now, I feel like he might have also had the Watch Bear, or maybe I just chose to put that in. I also chose to put in Archfiend General because, you know, it works with Pandemonium, but it's not like a chess Archfiend, so I feel like that's fine. And finally, I put Warrior of Zera in and a copy of Misera Deville, partly because I love this card and I just really wanted to see it used. This was like the gimmick of the deck for a long time. Like, this was the one thing you wanted to do for a very long time, was get Warrior Zera, Pandemonium, and Misera Deville. I think I did it once or twice, and that triple discard is just painful in this format. But yeah, that was like some artistic license I took to try and work out why Chazz was, you know, to try and fill the gap of why Pandemonium was in the deck. You could totally see Chazz saying Misera Deville. And obviously we saw Archlord Zerato being used by Aster when he put the fairy deck together. It was, you know, that kind of era of the game. I think it made sense. However, I do want to move away from this now and look a bit more at like pure Chazz. So those cards are going out. And finally, the last Archfiend card. This is just really stupid. One card that was actually in his card pool was Archfiend Marmot of Nefariousness from the, you know, from the garbage cards arc. And basically this is like, if you've got Pandemonium out and any of these, you know, if Archfiend General dies, just on the off chance, you can search for the Archfiend Marmot of Nefariousness. Back in the day, of course, I did have Lesser Fiend, which is technically an Archfiend in there as well, and Cave Dragon. So yeah, if Lesser Fiend or Archfiend General, you know, they're decent beaters. So if they were destroyed by card effect or anything, you could search the Archfiend Marmot of Nefariousness, and you either have a body on board or, again, a nice discard. Now, probably my favorite part of Chazz's deck is the spells, because in this particular format, you know, he just had some really cool stuff. So first of all, we have our draw package, the one copy of Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, and Card of Sanctity, of course. Next up, we have a copy of Magical Mallet. With the anime effect, of course, this is really good. And Magical Malleting, drawing into Magical Mallet with any of these is really, really good. And then, you know, just going again. You know, there's a really decent chance that when you shuffle Magical Mallet back in, you will either draw into one of the other draw cards or you will draw back into Magical Mallet. So it's really, really cool. I play it in Leo as well for the same reason. Next, we just have like the polymerization. I'm going to put a second copy in because we're going to put Darkblade the Dragon Knight back in. This is a weird one. I actually convinced myself that this wasn't something Chazz used and was again me using artistic license to put cards in the deck that he never used. But he did use this, so it's totally going back in. Darkblade's a really cool card to have it in the deck, so that's definitely going back in. And then we have the Graveyard and Fourth Dimension. This could probably do with coming out. It's not really all that useful. It's mainly used to like put Armed Dragon level 5 back in, just, you know, in case you got an extra like piece. You got an extra like 1 tribute beta in there and stuff. We've got Frontline Base. This isn't the greatest card, but it is technically a free special summon. I think I could count on one hand the amount of times I've ever actually managed to make that special summon, but I digress. We've got a Chthonian Alliance. Again, I haven't seen this actually come up on an awful lot, but there are certain times where you'll see a couple of Chthonian soldiers and a couple of Chthonian Alliance, so, you know, it is nice to see those together. We have 1 level up and 1 level down. Level up can be... Oh, that might have been it. I think I had level 7 out and level up, and obviously you can't level up into level 10. But you can level down from level 10 into level 7. And that's a really good move, because obviously it's a quick play spell, so it's a really good move to just hit hard with your level 10 and then down it into level 7 and swing with that as well. So yeah, really cool cards. I really like the LV cards, but... yeah, obviously they are a bit garbage. We got a Feather of the Phoenix, which is a nice little recursion. We got Silent Doom, which is like special summoning, really, really important if you want to try and get this going. We got Lightning Vortex, really good staple at this time. And again, Monster Reborn, good recursion. And again, we're sticking with recursion being very important to trying to get that V to Z Dragon Catapult cannon out. In character decks, recursion is the main way you get beaters out, you get your fusion monsters out, etc. So we also have the Grave of Enkindling and Call of the Haunted. So yeah, he has some really good resurrection effect options. We also have 1 copy of Torrential Tribute, and we have Chthonian Polymer, which is actually one of the best cards in the deck. When my friend started making Jaden, it actually took him a long time to actually fuse into anything. And then when he did, it was kind of like, yeah, Chthonian Polymer that every damn time. And we are ending on the final Chthonian card, which is Chthonian Blast. And yes, it does bother me that Polymer was never an ultimate rare, even though it never really should have been, since all of the others had an ultimate rare. But yeah, this is a really cool card. Basically a limited Ring of Destruction. Could also play Ring of Destruction in this. And now that I bring it up, I'm not really sure why I don't. I will be profiling the updated deck as well, but we of course got the 2 pieces, Darkblade the Dragon Knight, Darkblade Pitch Dark Dragon, and basically I want to go back to like bare roots Chazz, like this kind of early weird stuff like the zombies, Reborn Zombie, Return Zombie. Couldn't actually find my English Return Zombie, so that's good. And you know, Gyakugire Panda, just give that a try out. Second copy of Polymerization for Darkblade, and Soul Tiger. It's just a huge wall, you know. Yeah, why wouldn't you play these things? And we're going to put those in and take those Archfiend cards out. So, if you enjoyed this video, please do like, comment, subscribe, and I will put another character deck list in the end screen, as well as the DSW Tabletop playlist, where you can see more. I really do appreciate you guys joining me, so thank you all for watching, and goodbye.